Good morning, fellow educators. This is day 3 of our webinar on Modal and Self-Learning Kit for private school teachers, made possible for us by DepEd Division of Angeles City and the Association of Private Schools. To join us for the invocation, we shall now have Ma'am Liana Canlas, Acaps Secretary. Let us bow our heads and put ourselves in the holiness of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Dear Almighty and ever-loving God, we glorify and thank Thee, your name. You have showered us with so much blessings, and your presence continuously reminds us of your faithfulness and guidance. With this, we humbly ask you to shower our speakers on this third and final day of our webinar of your greatest inspiration so that they may share the boasts of their knowledge, heart, and soul to their respective topics. May our participants also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put them into practice, what they may have learned today. We pray that you bless all those in charge of this webinar from the DepEd Angeles City Division Office, that they may be able to fulfill their task responsibly, that the objectives they have set may all be achieved. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this webinar. May we be living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. Together we say in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hello, everyone, and a pleasant morning. Thank God it's Friday. It's the third and the final day of our webinar. And we would like to congratulate all of our participants, of course, for reaching this day 3 of our webinar exclusive for private school teachers, made possible for us by DepEd Division of Angeles City, and of course, in coordination with the Angeles City Association of Private Schools. We shall now have our recap, and this is going to be a very exciting recap since we are engaging all of you viewers into an interactive game. All you have to do is to using any of the device now that you have your smartphone, your Apple devices, and your laptops, whatever have you right there, is to go to your browser and joinmyquiz.com. Go to this site, it's called joinmyquiz.com. There you go. And do we have this code? All right, that's the game code. It is 748925. We shall only be limiting the time for those who are joining us for this game because we are giving away exciting prizes courtesy of Acaps. Ano po ang inyong mga papremyo? Ito po ay flash drive. We shall also be giving away flash drive po sa ating mga top 3 best illustrators. We would like to, of course, thank all of those who send in their illustration, and we shall be featuring later on ang ating mga winners. So, can we start? We are reminding everyone to kindly enter your names. Ayan, ito po ang ating game code, 748925. Join the game, and then you enter the code, put the acronyms or any names that we have 22 who have joined us. We're still inviting our participants to join us. Join my quiz. This is going to be some sort of a recap on what we have taken for the past 2 days of our webinar. Can we start? You're going through, I think there are 9 questions. All right. We can start, Sir Noel. Good luck to all of our participants. There you go. Topping the total at 45 gamers. Hindi lang po ang ating mga learners ang marunong sa ating online interactive games. Teachers, show what we've got. Kindly join myquiz.com and enter this game code. You shall also be asked your name. Kindly enter your name there so I can keep track of those who are joining us. And we hope that you have accomplished the evaluation form last night for day 2, and then we shall have the program evaluation later on after today's session. Again, reminding our viewers to join us for this recap in the form of an interactive game. All you have to do is to use any browser in the device that you're using now and join my quiz. Go to joinmyquiz.com, enter the game code, and enter your name, your quiz name. You can have your pseudonym, but for easy reference, we hope that you'll have your real name right there, or probably the acronym of your school. And then we shall give away prizes to the top 3 gamers for this recap. We have registered so far 80 gamers, and we are still inviting all of our viewers to join. We're starting. And we have 9 questions right here. Jamela is on the lead. Are all qualified resources and companies? Which two teachers say? Jamela is still second place. Are offers going third? Go. Fair is right here. A is on top 1. Third place starts. Hapon ka po sa lahat. Ito na po natin. DepEd is no longer the highest score. Here, the different one is now on top 1. It is a right here in the right track. Very exciting. Chris, hi, go. Robert, I saw you as well. Meeting camera is back on top 1. Robert is now feeling its new PKS rapid tab on the first spot. Edson now 7. PKS back again on the top spot. Favorite was still Iris in the 5th spot. I think all of our resilient and child stars. KS is going on a schedule. Still on the 2nd, PM, 3rd. Okay. Really exciting right here on our adjusted board. Get still at top, followed by keyboard service, waiting like exclusive spot is Iris, and is on the slide. Go. You still have some time to answer. Monitoring our achievement board, we have PM, Phil, and Robert, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd respectively. 4th is Skipper, the 1st, 5th and Australia, Raven West, and 6th, 7th is Irish. Hillcrest is on the 8th spot. Things are still changing because the 3rd spot is being stolen from Robert by Daniel. Last 30 seconds, go teachers, principals and administrators, here for your teachers. Rachel is here, Kimberly Cortez, in Australia, top 1 is left. We're about to end the game. Habol pa po. There you go. Keep it turn around. We have our winners. Third is Daniel. Second place goes to Phil. And our first placer is DM. A big hand for all of those who joined us for this interactive game. I think everybody enjoyed that. Kindly use our comment box to give your full name so we will be able to give your prizes. For the top three, top four is Robert, Rachel, Joyce, Kimberly, Merced, Jason, Ursolia too. Thank you and congratulations to all. This is also one thing that an application which you may use in your respective classrooms to make your games and your recap, for that matter, interactive. Maraming salamat po. And again, congratulations to our top three winners. Landing on one is DM Jill, and I think I missed the third one, but kindly comment on the comment box in YouTube right there and give your name. DM Jill and Chengel, congratulations. You will be receiving a flash drive from Acaps. Maraming salamat po. Kindly use the comment box and give your full name with the school so we may deliver your prizes through papa.ph. Di ba po, Sir Glenn? And of course, yesterday it was really a full day for us. And I know for a fact that you still would want to ask more questions to our resource speakers. So we are graced with their presence still for this morning for the panel discussion. So we shall have a session for them to answer the questions. So again, for self-learning kit writing, please welcome once again Mr. Norwin Malonzo. For SLK Illustrating, we're joined in by Ma'am Crislene Ida N. Mercado. And for SLK Layouting, we have Dr. Maria Remalin G. Cruz. Nice to have you again, Sir Norwin, Ma'am Ida, and
Good morning po.
Ma'am Rems.
Good morning po. Kumusta po?
Since all of our viewers are really mabuti po, magandang buhay, mabuting tao. Ayan po. So ngayon po, meron pa po tayong mga pahabol na katanungan para sa inyo.
Okay po.
I'll have to go with, ang una po natin, parang nasa live selling lang po ba tayo? I think this was answered briefly yesterday. Ang mga private schools po ba pwedeng mag-deviate sa mga standards na inyong na-discuss? Sino po ang gustong sumagot sa ating mga panelists?
Okay. Actually po, sa amin po, sa DepEd, yun po yung standard na po. Pero sa mga private school, pwede po kayong mag-set ng sarili niyo pong standards.
Okay. So isa pa pong katanungan, maraming salamat po. Probably this will be answered by Ma'am Ida. Usually, how long will it take them to complete the illustrations in one SLK?
Okay po.
From
Actually
Diane.
po, okay po. Thank you po, Ma'am Tet. Actually po, that will depend po sa mismong content po, sa writer o kaya sa competencies. And another thing po is yung grade level and the illustration itself po. Kasi po, may mga illustrations po na kailangan niyan, may mga content po na kailangan ng maraming illustrations po. And then another po is yung sa grade level po. For example po, sa experience ko, may isang SLK ako na ginawa na grade, I think grade 5 yata yon. Natapos ko po yon ng 1 to 2 days po. And do sa illustration po, may mga detailed illustrations po kasi. Sa example po, yung map of Central Luzon na pinapakita yung anyong lupa at tubig. Okay, natapos po namin yung illustration na yon ng 1 to 2 days din po. So, depende pa rin po dun sa mismong illustration and dun sa content and yung grade level po.
Okay po, maraming salamat po. Sa palagay ko po kay Ma'am Ida pa rin po ito, coming from Aaron Indefonso. Bakit po ganon? Na-back lang po saglit, pagbalik daw sa app, nawala na ba yung ginawa niya? So wala
Okay
ba
po.
siyang auto-save?
Actually po, baka hindi pa po na-save. Nagba-backup naman po yung mismong illustration o yung mismong file. Pero since hindi po agad na-backup yung sa kanya, kaya nawala po yung file niya. So mas maganda pa rin po is nagsisave po tayo. Okay na po.
Thank you po. For Ma'am Rems naman po, ano po yung iba pang tools na pwedeng gamitin sa pagli-layout? Apart from those probably which
Okay
were
po, thank you so
presented
much.
yesterday.
Okay po, depende po sa ating mga participants kung saan po sila mas hiyang. So yung present po kahapon, yun yung pinaka-familiar kaya yun po yung ating pinagamit. Pero they can use Adobe InDesign, they can also use Microsoft Publisher, or even PowerPoint po. Pwede po silang gumawa at mag-layout ng kanilang mga module. Depende po sa kanila kung saan po sila mas hiyang. Ayan po.
Thank you po. Sir Norwin naman po, ano po ang maximum pages para sa isang SLK? Number of pages.
For the number of pages po, I'll be talking about the minimum lang po. Actually, the minimum number of pages is 12 and then followed by 16, 20, 24. So yun po yun. And kapag umabot na po kasi tayo ng around mga 20 pages, medyo mahaba-haba na po yun. So at least 16 pages is enough na rin po doon.
Follow-up question din po coming from Aaron. Okay lang po bang maglagay ng key to corrections and sa isang SLK?
Yes po. Actually, what I have presented yesterday is intended for learner's copy. For the teacher's copy, we usually put key to answers before the acknowledgement. Doon po natin inilalagay. Of course, kapag kasi isinama po natin sa mga learner's copy yung key to answer, alam naman natin marami ng mga bata na talagang matatalino ngayon. So, magiging prone po siya sa cheating just in case we will be attaching the key to answer pagdating po dun sa mga learner's copy. So I suggest na yung mga teacher's copy na lang po ang lagyan po natin ng keys to answers. And in addition po doon, katulad din po ng sinabi ni Doc Rems, naka-upside down din po yung mga key to answers po natin.
Alright. So, yun nga din po yung isang query coming from our viewers. Bakit po daw baliktad ang key to correction?
Kasi may mga pagkakataon po na hindi na po natin dinidetach yung key to corrections. So kapag naka-invert po siya, parang hindi siya mas madaling hanapin. Pero katulad nga po ng sinabi ko, dahil nga kapag nalaman na ng mga learners po natin na ang mga binibigay nating learning resources ay may mga key to corrections, mas madaling-madali na po sa kanilang hanapin po ang mga sagot.
From Westfield naman po, ang question dito ay, how much of the SLK should be written if their topic is already in the textbooks? So we have schools po na combination of online resources and printed materials. And then, is there a need for them to still come up with the SLK? Kung gumagamit na rin po sila ng printed resources in the form of their textbooks.
As we have discussed yesterday, ang mga learning resources na pinipresent po namin dito ay intended usually for intervention and as supplementary materials. Just in case na okay naman po yung naging content and nagkaroon naman po ng competency natin, I believe there is no need for the development of self-learning kit. However, may mga instances po talaga na yung mga learners po natin ay hindi nakaka-catch up ng maayos. I would also suggest na naka-ready na po yung mga self-learning kits and modules po natin in case kailangan pa po natin talaga ng supplementary activities para sa kanila. Now, in terms of the content, hindi naman po kailangan na yung lahat ng mga nasa book ay i-insert po. tulad ko, even though I am using different references, at least mga 20% lang po to 40% ng content ng book, particularly dun sa discussion, ang inilalagay ko. Kasi if it is exactly the same with the book, then I believe parang nawawala na po tayo dun sa purpose natin why we are providing supplementary resources.
Mm.
Tama po.
Secondly, hindi rin po siguro na naayon, hopefully umayon yung mga audience po natin ngayon na hindi po natin dapat gayahin yung mga activities din sa mga references po natin. Kasi if the activities are similar, sa tingin ko hindi na po natin kailangan ding mag-develop ng isang module or self-learning kit.
Yes, that's correct. And it serves parang reduplication lang nung ano na
Yes.
existing dun sa. So if it is a supplementary material, then it should go beyond kung ano po yung available sa kanilang mga textbooks. Dito
Exactly.
naman po, salamat po. If the image in the computer is not copyrighted, can we use that instead to avoid probably issues on plagiarism and copyright infringement cases po?
Ma'am Ida, alam ko may maisasagot ka, but let me just share yung naging experience ko during the regional presentation. Back in 2018 po kasi nag-present din po tayo ng ating self-learning kit. And one of the question ng mga panelists po natin is, original ba o saan ba nakuha yung mga illustrations doon? So ang isa sa mga or few of those illustrations,
I think we're losing Sir Norwin, so probably si Dr. Rems and Ma'am Ida can
Okay
answer.
po. Pwede naman po, available naman po yung, may mga available naman pong illustrations na for free po. May mga sites din po na you can download the illustration for free. For example po, yung mga free pick, draw kit, undrawn, ouch, at saka mga streamline po. Pero limited lang yung mga illustrations na yon. So, some illustrations naman na na-encounter ko na kung pwede ako mag-download is walang bayad. But some naman po, they ask donation. Okay, and then another thing po, to consider din po, mas maganda rin kasi na original talaga yung illustration for consistency. Kung magda-download ka kasi from the net, okay, nawawala po yung consistency. And then another po is, since pinapa-localize yung mga materials natin, so mahihirapan din po tayo na maghanap ng mga illustrations sa net. Okay po, and then pwede rin naman po, may kasama din po ako, co-teacher na since, hindi po siya marunong mag-illustrate, ang ginawa niya po is, pinicturan niya yung sarili niya. So, nasa inyo po kung gusto niyo pong, picturean yung sarili niyo as an example po, as an example po ng image. And then another po is, pwede naman po kasing gumamit ng mga pictures, pero dapat own pictures po. For example po, yung mga tourist spot, yung mga cultural heritage sites po, or events and angles, kung may mga pictures po kayo nun, pwede naman po silang ilagay for your, para maging image nyo sa SLK. So, possible naman po yon.
Dr. Rems, do you have something to add po? Thank you po, Ma'am Ida.
Okay po.
Actually, nasagot na po lahat ni Ma'am Ida and Sir Norwin. Yun pa.
Okay po. Sir Norwin, you're back. Welcome
Yes.
back po sa ating
Pasensya na
live
po,
stream.
nawalan ng signal. Yun, sa tingin ko, meron na pong nai-add si Ma'am Ida, no? But just to share, kung yung pong ang naging experience sa regional training, ay regional presentation rather, ang sinagot ko lang naman po is very simple, no? They were taken from the free picks. Doon po kinuha kasi yung ibang illustration. So, ano po yung naging response naman ng ating panelists? If just in case na talagang yung mga pinagkuhanan po natin ay mga website na kung saan there's no copyright mga copyright issues, po pwede naman po. Ayun ang sabi ng isa sa mga police. Second, ang ni-raise din po na question namin, halimbawa, we will be cartoonizing some pictures. Is it allowed? Ang response naman po ng panelists, yes, pwede rin po. And of course, yung pangatlo naman, pwede po pa na gumamit ng original pictures taken from cellphones, yung mga, dahil may mga instances talaga na wala tayong makuhang illustration or hindi kayang mag-illustrate, pwede po ba ang mga still pictures for as long as meron po tayong permission doon sa mga tao na kinuhanan natin ng picture, then allowed din po sila.
Maraming salamat po, sir. And then we have another question coming from Mr. Jason Gomez po. Sa paggawa po ng objectives, need po ba talaga i-follow ang cognitive, affective, and psychomotor format since naka-categorize naman ang mga competencies sa cognitive dimension process? Ito po, it's being flashed on your screen.
Sige po. Tulad po ng nabanggit ko kahapon, it is suggested na sundin po ang mga yon. Pero po pwede rin naman po na just in case na there's sa tingin po natin ay hindi naman kailangan na yung 3 domains ay nandoon, pwede rin naman po.
Thank you po. From Karen Furake, usually po ba good for 1 week or per quarter? Per quarter po ang ating SLK.
Ang ating pong mga SLK and other modules, they are competency based. Ibig sabihin po, hindi po siya per quarter kasi sa isang quarter, like for instance, sa science po, meron po kaming around 6 to 7 competencies po per quarter. Kaya po kung pagsasamahin po natin sa isang SLK lamang po yon, masyado pong marami ito para sa isang self-learning kit. Let us not forget na yung mga self-learning kits po natin and modules are intended for intervention and supplementary. Kung pagsasamahin po natin sila sa iisa lang, napakaraming competencies po nun, baka naman po mahirapan din po lalo yung ating mga students. Parang wala rin po siyang pinagkaiba nun sa mga regular books or textbooks na ginagamit po natin. So I would suggest one competency, at kung yung competency naman po ay maraming mga subtopics or mga topics na kailangang i-cover, bumaba rin po tayo per topic po nun.
Meron pa po ba tayong idadagdag? Dr. Rems and Ma'am Ida?
Okay na po.
I think that
Per
is...
competency po talaga siya. Per
Opo.
competency po.
That is basically the reason why DepEd came up with the most essential learning competencies with the shift that we have had in this transition to our new or next normal. For Ma'am Ida po, Medibank Paint Pro 64-bit Android for laptop po ba pwede?
Okay po. So, pwede rin po yun. Pwede po kayo mag-download ng Medibank app sa Android po, sa cellphone, sa iPhone, even po sa laptop po. Meron din pong available for 32-bit din po and 64-bit. And as well po, pwede rin po sa MacBook po. So,
Ayun po. I think nasagot na rin po ang question ni Cham Efrain Elorde Naga. Kung pwede po sa 32-bit or 64-bit. So pwede po yan, Ma'am Ida. I think some of our teachers are leveling it up to the business side. Do you have any idea daw po kung magkano ang Illustrators fee? Dahil marami sa ating mga teachers ang pwedeng maging illustrator dun sa mga nasabi natin na mga entries.
okay po. That will depend po sa mismong illustrator din po. Kasi may mga illustrator po na beginner po, yung nag-start pa lang po sila. So, mas mababa po yung fee nila. Pero kung mga ano na talaga, is mas mataas yung fee ng iba. And ang pagre-rate po dun sa pagbabayad po sa rate nila is per hour po. Parang nag-tutor din po tayo. Parang tutorial fee din po. Okay.
Parang our teachers are taking it to the next level. Apart from being tutor, illustrator na rin po.
Oo nga po.
I think we do have another question sa YouTube comment box. Can we flash it, Sir Noel? Given po na making SLK is challenging, what is your salient point or what are the salient points that we need to consider the most aside from the given guidelines po kahapon?
Siguro po ang maidadagdag ko is yung magiging character po ng teacher in developing the SLK. Patience is very important kasi for beginners, it may be frustrating lalo na kung dadaan po yan ng evaluation. But let us not forget that whenever we do things, hindi naman po talaga madali sa umpisa. But eventually,
Yes.
the fruit will be harvested once you have placed patience in every endeavor that you are going at entering at. Ganun lang po, no? Kasi nga tulad ng sinabi ko, I do not have the formal training during my first SLK writing and presentation, and yet nagawa ko po. Kasi ang isang dahilan lang po naman doon is patience. And secondly, palagi po naming sinasabi sa DepEd, para sa bata, para sa bayan.
Para sa There you go. I think that's about it. Questions perfectly answered. Maraming salamat po for your gracious presence for our day 3 and final day of our webinar. Thank you so much, Sir Norwin, Ma'am Ida, and Dr. Rems. And we
Thank you
move
po.
on to maraming salamat po. We now have, of course, and I'm very much thrilled to be presenting to you our first speaker po para sa araw na ito. This might be your first time to see him on live stream for this webinar for private school teachers, but he is our director, the backstage, and made this webinar possible. He is the project development officer to Learning Resource Management section of Curriculum Implementation Division, a Google Education Group Pampanga leader, Microsoft Education Ambassador, to have his talk on harvesting LRs or learning resources from legitimate sites. Please welcome Mr. Noel Reganet. Sir, are you there?
Hello po,
Good
good
morning,
morning.
Sir Noel.
Nagpapa-dramatic entrance lang sana ako kaya lang medyo nag-error. Ako rin kasi ang kumahawak po ng control natin. Kumusta po kayo mga ka-YouTube, kasama sa education, mga teachers nating masisipag, yung mga nag-enjoy kahapon, kumusta po kayo? Sana sa araw na ito mag-enjoy din ulit kayo.
Sabi ko nga, sir, they're not seeing you. This is the first time that they're seeing you for this webinar for private school teachers. But you are always there at the backstage directing the entire webinar.
Opo, pasensya na po kayo. Camera shy po talaga ako. Pero kung babalikan niyo po yung YouTube channel natin, I suggest panoorin niyo po yung mga previous webinars po namin. We had a series of webinars para in preparation for our private. Actually, some of them already watched it kasi that series was intended for private school and public school teachers. So for those who have not watched it, I also spoke there. Some of our competent speakers also spoke in that webinar. Paki-review nyo po. If you want to download it para ma-view nyo lagi, go ahead po. That is intended for your upskilling.
Maraming salamat, Sir Noel. And we're all set for your talk. How do we harvest and where do we get the learning resources? Ano po yung mga legitimate sites na pwedeng gamitin ng ating mga teachers?
Yeah, I'm very excited in discussing this to all of our teachers, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasama sa private school. Kasi why do we need to do this? Kasi we don't want to meet each other sa kulungan. Ayaw naman nating mag-chip in tayo sa pampiyansa lang din natin. I'm sure all of us are artistic and all of us are educators, so we can do it our own. And if should we need to get some from other resources, meron naman tayong mga pwedeng remedy. And that is what I'm going to discuss later. Medyo itatakal ko po ng konti ang copyright, pero that is not really part of the topic, but I will solely discuss mga sites, lalong-lalo na yung provide ni DepEd na LRMDS, Learning Resource Management and Development System, or the what we call the LR portal.
Thank you, Sir Noel. And you've been in the backstage. It's my time to be in the backstage, and you'll take the front lead for this session. Take it away.
Yes. Good morning po mga kaibigan, mga kabalen. Didiscuss ko ngayon ang isang napaka-importanting makakatulong sa inyo sa inyong pagka-craft ng inyong mga SLKs or whatever instructional materials you will have. May that be your video, PowerPoint, SLK, ADM, because crafting this is a collaboration of three factors: writer, illustrator, and layout. Lahat ng mga participants na ito sa collection or sa assembly ng isang instructional material ay pwedeng makasagasa ng copyright. Um, ang copyright ay, kung i-define natin siya sa Tagalog, ito yung right to copy o karapatang kumopya. Okay? Ang karapatang intellectual, lagi ay otomatiko yan sa originator. Like for example, pinicturan ko ang isang electric fan. Alin ang akin doon? Is it the electric fan or the picture that I took? Kasi inano ko siya ng aking artistic rendition. Sige. Can I have a sound check first, mga kasama sa backstage? Is my sound doing good? Ano nga po sa private chat muna? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ma'am Ted. Thank you po. Lapit ko lang ng konti para mas audible. So the intellectual copyright is, the intellectual copyright always reside dun sa originator. So kapag gumawa ako ng isang artistic rendition ko, example, nag-compose ako ng kanta, if that is original, akin yon. Kaya lang, ang copyright ay pwedeng mai-assign. For example, ako nga ang gumawa ng kanta, ako rin ang nag-file ng copyright nito, at ang lahat ng kita nito ay sa akin, pwede yon. Pero meron provision sa batas na pwede mong i-transfer ang copyright nito. Like, kayo mga kasama nating teacher, nagkaroon kayo ng pagkakataong makagawa ng libro. Ang content ng libro na yan, kung kayo ang originator, pwede ninyong ipa-publish sa publisher. Sa ganung pamamaraan, binibigyan nyo ng karapatan sa kopya ng libro na ito ang publisher. At ang publisher naman ay binibigyan mo ng karapatan na i-restrict lang kung sino lang ang pwedeng kumopya ng akda mo. So meron siyang economical sense. Pwede bang ilipat ang copyright? Oo. Nanggaling sa iyo ang intellectual copyright, binigyan mo ng karapatang kumopya ang publisher, at si publisher ngayon ay mag-a-assign ng restriction ng copyright mo. So, usually makikita niyo yan sa mga libro ninyo, like kung sino man sa inyo ang partner, si Vibal, si Rex, nandun yan sa kanilang copyright page. Usually nakalagay doon, no part of this book can be reproduced or photocopied, sa yung mga yan. So, ibig sabihin, ganun nila gustong i-design ang karapatan ng libro na yon, kasi may nagmamay-ari. Ganon din naman sa YouTube. Kapag meron tayong mga content doon, hindi ba kapag may kumopya ka ng isang kanta, i-strike ka ni YouTube dahil sinasabi niya na merong nagmamay-ari ng copyright na ito. So, anong gagawin ni YouTube? Dalawang pwede niyang gawin. Sasabihin niya, kung ito ay totoong sa'yo, kailangan mo patunayan na ito ay pag-aari mo. Pero kapag hindi, binibilangan kanya na pwede niyang gawa ng paraan ang infringement mo na ito. So pwede niyang I think 3 strikes yata 'yon na pwede kang may strike, and then pwede kang ma-cut off or matanggal sa YouTube. Meron akong gustong i-share na isang classic na kwento pagdating sa copyright. Share ko lang po ang aking screen. Ito ay isang napakalaking debate pagdating sa copyright. And they call it the perfect selfie. Ang kwento po nito, may isang photographer na gustong mag-photograph ng isang close-up na unggoy. Kaso hindi niya kaya kasi this kind of monkeys are madali silang ma-distract, madali silang basta mahirap silang picturean. So, ang ginawa ng photographer, nilapit niya ang claim ng photographer, nilapit niya ang kanyang camera doon, may intention siya para makuha talaga ng picture yon. Tapos, ang nangyari, kinuha ng unggoy ang camera at kinunan niya ng picture ang sarili niya. So, kumita ng malaki ang picture na ito, na-publish ito, kasi ang ganda nga naman ng pagkaka-selfie. And the story of the selfie itself is very nice. Kasi parang ang isang unggoy, kaya niyang i-selfie ang sarili niya. So, kumalat siya, nag-viral ito sa US, kumikita siya as a photographer. Pero, merong isang photographer naman na gumamit ng picture na ito sa kanyang akda. So, syempre, nagkaroon ng intervention. Ang sabi nung isa, akda ko yan. O, ang claim naman nung isa, kanino ba ang intellectual property? Ano ba ang copyrightable? Ang copyrightable material. The picture itself should have been copyrightable. Kaya lang, the question is, kaninong intellectual property yan? Sa unggoy? O dun sa photographer na may-ari nung camera. Meron kaya ako makikita sa comment box kung sino makakasagot. So sa inyong pong palagay, paki-comment nga dito, kaninong copyright o sino ang may karapatan sa copyright nito? Yung bang unggoy na kumuha ng selfie? O yung photographer na may-ari ng camera? Wait, pwede ba akong maghintay ng comment dito? Who can answer that po? What's your opinion? Walang nagko-comment. Sir Glenn, anong sagot mo? Kanino ang copyright? Sa unggoy o dun sa photographer? Okay, since walang nagko-comment, sabi ni Sir Wilson Canaveral, sa photographer daw ang copyright. Sabi ni Sir Aaron Ildefonso, sa photographer. Photographer may-ari ng camera. Sabi ni Ma'am Emily, sa photographer po. Sabi ni Ma'am Hannah, I think sa monkey po. Sabi ni Sir Mark for the people, sa unggoy. Sabi ni Ma'am Lovely, sa photographer. Yung may-ari ng camera, sa photographer. It's inherent to the photographer since a monkey can't apply for copyright. Actually, hanggang ngayon, malaking debate ito. Kung babasahin po ninyo ito, itong history nito, actually, tama ito. Si Naruto ang pangalan ng unggoy. Si Actually, ang ano nito, ang dapat definition ng copyright is yung may artistic rendition. Sino ang may artistic rendition? Hindi naman nga si photographer ang nag-take ng picture. Ang ginamit ay pag-aari niya, which is the tawag dito, the camera. Tapos, tama rin yung sinabi niya ni Sir na ang unggoy ay hindi pwedeng mag-claim ng copyright. Well, ang hindi naman technically copyright ang hinihingi natin muna dito kasi una munang process is the intellectual property. And intellectual property doesn't apply to non-human being. Hanggang ngayon ay kasi the reason why nakarating ito sa korte is because ang claim ng photographer ay dahil naapektuhan ang kanyang economic state. Sabi niya, the photographer has the intent. Donggoy po. Kung may permission po ang photographer, sabi ni Sir Alvin. Okay. So you can search for this. This is a classic example of copyright na hanggang ngayon ay pinagdidipatihan pa rin po nila. Imagine niyo nung 2004 pa po ito. So ano daw ang impact case later? That he had suffered financial loss as a result of the pictures being available in Wikimedia Commons. I made 2,000 for the picture. Kumita daw siya ng 2,000, ano ba to? In the first year after it was taken. After I went on Wikipedia, all interest in buying it went. It's hard to put a figure on it, but I reckon I've lost 10,000. So kumita nga daw siya ng 2,000, nawalan naman siya ng 10,000 kasi hindi naman niya alam kung paano pipresyohan. Tapos, nung dinala niya ito sa korte, lalo siyang gumastos pa. Kasi, ang kanyang photography ay napunta naman sa Creative Commons. So, what do we mean by Creative Commons? These are materials na pwedeng gamitin for reuse. So, later on, I will, after discussing you the LR portal, I will also suggest some workaround to get Creative Commons materials. So let me start with my topic now. My first topic is accessing the DepEd provided instructional materials portal, or what we call the LR portal, or the Learning Resource Portal. So if you have your computer, I want you later to log into the portal. But before that, let me reiterate this DepEd order, DepEd Memorandum 82 of 2017, dated April 24. It says Learning Resource Management and Development System Implementation in the Rationalized DepEd Structure. So, LRMDS stands for Learning Resource Management and Development System. So the objectives are to reinforce this. The LR portal is the official source of all DepEd developed and DepEd approved teaching and learning resources. The LR portal is consistent with the LRMDS processes. So sa Department of Education po, meron kami sinusundang isang mahabang framework from conception to up to publishing. And here, point number 6, everybody is not really required, but recommended to register. Who can register in the LR portal? Actually, anyone with an email. Because you can register with, why can you register with the portal? Hindi ba yan sa sa DepEd lang, mga DepEd personnel lang? Nakalagay po kasi sa ating constitution that education, alam niyo yung education for all, education should be accessible to all for free. Okay? So, pag sinabing anyone, it means teachers, regardless kung private or public school teacher ka, anyone pa rin ang tawag natin kay parent, anyone din ang tawag natin kay student, basta may email siya, anyone pa rin ang tawag natin sa mga kagayang pinagdaanan natin na mga dumaan sa kolehiyo para magpakadalubhasa sa pagtuturo. Mga teacher education students like sa yung mga BEd, SEd students ng Holy Angel, ng Systems Plus, ng PISAW. So, they can also register. Ulitin ko dahil yan ay incognizant to the Education for All system natin. Pero may restriction. So dito sa ano na to, sa graph na to or sa table na to, pwede rin mag-register ang anyone, magre-register din ang mga taga DepEd. Tapos anong gagawin nila? To search learning resource titles and descriptions, they can view and download published learning resource. Ito pa lang anyone, when we say anyone pala rito, they can access but they cannot log in yet. Okay? Ang tawag natin sa mga taong nakakapag-download ay mga registered member. Because LRMDS can be accessed without signing in. Makikita mo pa rin lahat ng mga resources doon but you cannot download it not unless mag-sign in ka. But for you to sign in, you need to be registered. And once you're registered, ibig sabihin, may password ka, may email ka, you will have the option to download materials for free. Because ang copyright na dineputize ng o any work or derivative deputized by the government ay pag-aari ng Estado. So, ibig sabihin, ang mga dinevelop na mga teachers na nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno o kahit sino pa, kahit hindi teacher na nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno, ito ay pag-aari ng gobyerno kasi bayad sila ng gobyerno. So kapag nakaregister na sila, pwede na silang mag-view and download published learning resource. Published learning resource. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga instructional materials na intended sa mga estudyante o learners material. Dito nga pala, meron tayong mga madadownload na tinatawag nating learners material or yung LM. TM ang tawag natin sa teachers material at saka sa professional development material. Any registered member can always download learners material because these are free on the virtue of education for all. Pero yung mga teachers from DepEd na merong email address na nag-i-end sa deped.gov.ph, kasi mga public school teachers lang po ang mga or DepEd personnel lang po magkakaroon ng ganun, they have the option to download mga teachers material and professional development materials. So if you could see number 7, it says published learning resources downloaded are free to use. So ibig sabihin, these are Creative Commons. So the intellectual property is given also for free to reuse it. So sa mga mag-develop ng inyong mga materials, you can have a look, check ninyo yung mga materials na available dito, and you can reuse it. Kailangan bang as is? Pwede ninyong i-as is yan na ready for printing na yan, or pwede nyo din po silang i-develop according sa SLK na gusto niyo. Kasi meron tayong mga madadownload dito na activity sheets lang sila. Ibig sabihin, nandun lang sila sa part 3 ng SLK. These are meant for evaluation. However, these shall not be sold. Ito po ang malaking hamon sa amin sa DepEd. Actually, na-feature ito, nag-viral ito sa social media that there are some individuals who are selling or downloading materials from the LR portal and selling it for a fee. Ang claim nila, is uh, what they're selling is not the content but the manner of reproducing it. Ibig sabihin, finotocopy nila ito, mass produced, ang binibenta daw nila is the paper. Nagkataon lang na meron laman yung ibibigay nila. But that violates the context of copyright kasi meron siyang economical sense na nava-violate. And these parang ganito ang sinasabi ko, kung nagpunta ka sa opisina namin sa DepEd sa Pulumbulo, may parking lot doon. Kung yung parking lot na yon ay pag-aari ng gobyerno, walang pwedeng maningil ng parking lot fee sa loob. Pero kapag kunwari may individual na naningil ng parking fee, parang hindi siya maganda dahil resources ng gobyerno pagkakakitaan mo. So para siyang cannibalization of government property. Any unofficial use of published learning resources shall be sanctioned administratively. Okay, so you can get a copy of this DepEd memo from the internet. Actually, I just searched it earlier. DepEd memo 82/2017. Okay. DepEd memo 82 series of 2017. Okay, so let's proceed. Na-establish na natin the idea that anyone can view the LR portal, but not everybody can register. Let me make that clear. Ang pwede lang mag-register, of course, yung mga may valid email. And we will discover that later, bakit yung mga may valid email lang ang pwede mag-register. So, let's go na sa LR portal. Ang URL or website ng LR portal is lrmds.deped.gov.ph. By the way, the deped.gov.ph is the website of the Department of Education. So, idadagdag nyo lang yung LRMDS sa umpisa. So, I'll hit enter. So, let me repeat. The URL of the portal is lrmds.deped.gov.ph. Okay? So, I hope you're following. From your computer, go to lrmds.deped.gov.ph. And this is what you will see. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about earlier. Hindi ako nakalogin, hindi ako nagre-register, pero nakikita ko ang website. Okay? So this is what you'll see. It is a green website where the home resources, if I click resources, meron siyang K-12 resources, alternative learning system resources, professional development resources, and then meron din siyang media gallery. If I click media gallery, or I'll just put a different tab for that, these are illustrations na upload. So there are illustrations here, and any illustration here na makikita ninyo are part of the Creative Commons. Ibig sabihin, these are for free. Okay. So ito yung sinasabi kong hindi ako nakalogin, pero I can see it. So what we can see now, makakapag-search pa rin tayo. Let's say, for example, maghahanap ako ng material ko. If I am a teacher of science, probably isa sa hanapin ko is the topic for matter. So, I'll put the word matter here sa search box. Meron na ito yung makikita ko. So, meron siyang learning resources, meron siyang teacher resources. So, makita niyo man dito sa teacher sa resource type nakalagay teacher's guide. So, in what format? May zip, PDF, mga ganyan. And meron din tayong professional development materials option, kaya lang for the matter topic, walang na-prepare for that. So, iyan ang ibig sabihin niya. Now, for media gallery naman, bubbles lang daw ang meron. Oh, so what happens? Pwede ba natin siyang i-download? Ang pinag-usapan natin dito yung yung minention kanina sa DepEd memo na anybody na hindi naka-sign in. Kung titignan ninyo, we can view the details. I just selected is module 5 matter around me. Okay, these are the objectives. So these are the metadata. So this is K to 12. So this material is for grade applicable for grade 7, 8 and grade 4. And by the way, this is categorized according dun sa curriculum guide version 2016, yung mga competency codes doon. So yun doon naka-base yung kanilang metadata. So anong learning area? Science. Anong content topic? Matter. Sino ang pwedeng gumamit? The learners, the student. Kasi this is a learning material. So ibig sabihin, sino gagamit? Of course, it is the learners or the students. So, nandito yung competencies niya. Ito yung sinasabi natin, copyright information. So, you can check the copyright information if this can be reproduced. Ano sabi? Copyright? Yes. The copyright owner is the Department of Education. So, what are the conditions of use? Anybody who have access to it can modify, derive. Ibig sabihin derive, pwedeng makapulot ka doon, tapos ilagay mo sa material mo. You can reproduce as is. You can use it, you can copy it, and you can print it. Okay? So, ano ang file size? 1.3 MB. Anong application? Naka-MS Word. Ilang pages? 28 pages. Okay, download natin. Uy, hindi ko po ma-download. Bakit hindi ko po ma-download? Kasi po, hindi po ako naka-login. Paano ko ito ma-download? So, of course, I need to log in. How do you log in? You need to be registered first. Excuse me lang po. Okay, you need to be registered first. But let me just show you what will happen if I sign in kasi meron na po akong account dito. So I'll click login so that this option to download will be available to me. Okay. I'll repeat the process. So I'm already logged in or signed in. As you can see, my name is here. I did not put a picture yet. What you see here may be different from what you see on your end kasi I am an admin sa Angeles City. But let me repeat the process of looking for that matter. So for learning resource, as you can see, the download option is already green. So it means it's already an option. The view details is also the same kasi I can view the details of the metadata. Now, as you can see, the download button is already an option also. So if I click this, of course, it will be downloaded on my computer. Okay, what do we perceive dito sa may 4-star siya? So there are already 5 voters who voted for. So parang ano lang po yan, parang hotel na the quality of the hotel is defined according sa star niya. So the quality of this material for them is almost perfect. So if I download that, I click download. Ayun po. Nandito na siya sa ilalim. So it's already downloaded. Let's see anong itsura niya. I'm just opening it. Ito po ngayon. Ayan. Ito po yung na-download ko. Project Ease. Integrated Science 1, so module, so the sa logo. So, this is actually an example of one module. Kasi kanina meron pong question dyan na nakita ko. Those who are asking for examples of modules. So, this is where you can get examples of modules. And I suggest you create your own mga icons. Na-discuss ni Ma'am Rems ang tungkol sa icons kasi these are part of the modules. Let me see if there are questions. Okay, there's none. Laki natin ng konti. So, it says here, Module 5, Matter Around Me. Have you been in the social sort? So, this is the kumbaga sa SLK, ito yung what you need to learn. What happened? This is what happened. Tapos, so this is what are you expecting to learn? How to learn from this module. So, meron siyang a quick instruction. And then, dito pa lang yung part na may pretest. Okay. So, this is self-learning kasi even the pretest, sila na rin mismo ang magsasabi if anong level nila. So, dito na yung lesson proper. Lesson 1, what is matter? Okay. Now, sabi dun sa copyright statement niya kanina, pwede siyang gamitin, pwede na siyang mag-derive dito, pwede siyang ma-produce for education purpose. Okay. What sets apart yung DepEd DepEd.gov.ph user dun sa mga regular email users? Meron pa rin namang restriction para sa mga non-DepEd users dito. Ang pwede lang ma-download ng mga non-DepEd email users ay mga learners material. Gaya nga po ng sinabi ko kanina, those are given for free. It's because of the virtue of the education for all. So, hence, education should be free. Pero pagdating sa teachers material, yung mga example ng mga teachers materials ay lesson plan, ano tayo? Teacher's guide, mga instruction for teachers, mga ganyan. Hindi po ito available for non-DepEd users. Kung makikita nyo po, available ang download sa akin because the email address that I used is my DepEd email. But if you're using the regular Gmail or the email of your school, free nyo po mada-download ng mga learners material. So let's proceed sa how to register. Log out muna ako dito. Now to register, of course, you need to go to lrmds.deped.gov.ph and on the right side, top right, beside the login, top right corner, nandun yung register. Okay? So you need to fill the blanks here with the correct information. Your full name, middle name, email, username. O, so let me try. Sabi niya last name, no? And what is my email address? Oh, okay. Let me use a non-DepEd email because I'm sure sa private school mga non-DepEd ang kanilang gamit. But the username I wanna use is my name. The password. And then I'll put a birthday. So let's say pinanganak ako ng June 12. Kaya lang, syempre dapat 18 years old ako mahigit. So select a gender. So obviously. Affiliation, school ang piliin ninyo. What is your region? Of course, ano tayo, Region 3. So what is your division? Angeles City. So here's the magic. Nandito ang school ninyo. Pati private school po nandito. Basta registered kayo with DepEd, meron kayong e-base, nandito po ang pangalan ninyo. Hanapin natin ang Holy Angel. So Holy, meron akong Holy Angel University, Holy Family Academy, and also have the School of Holy Child Angeles. So I'll choose Holy Angel University. So what is my area of expertise? So let's say junior high school. I am a Muppet teacher dati. Pero this is not required naman. So you need to take this that I will not distribute the materials found in the portal for commercial distribution. So pwede pala siyang i-distribute. Hindi lang pwede ang commercial. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka pwedeng kumita dito. So ititik mo yan. Kasi pag hindi mo na itik ito, hindi mo na lagyan ng check yan, hindi ka makakapag-register. So you need to understand that. Then I have read and agreed the LR portal terms of use. Okay. And then click I am not a robot. Register. Click I click register. Okay. Ako si Noel Regan III. Okay, let me click register. Di ko na ano yung I am not a robot. Ayun na ang aking password. Okay, so I'm already signed in. Now, look at what happens. Let me just read it. You are one step away from completing registration. An email has been sent to noel.reganit@deped.angelescity.com. It contains an activation link you must click to activate your account. If you didn't receive your verification message in your inbox, please check your spam folder. Okay, ulit na. You are one step away. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa kayo registered. Parang nag-ano lang kayo ng Facebook na kapag ka nag-register kayo sa Facebook, makaka-receive kayo ng email and you need to activate your account. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina na only do those who have valid email can create an account in the portal kasi meron pa kayong isang step. Pag hindi valid ang email niyo, hindi niyo ma-activate ito. Okay? Punta ako sa email. And let me see if I already received it. Now, let me just show you what you will receive after registration. Okay, here. So this is the email that you will receive after your registration. Ba, naging pareho tuloy ang aking ano. You have registered to LR portal using email address. You are one step away to completing your registration. Please click on the button below to verify your email address. So I'll click activate your account. So it says here, congratulations, your account is now activated. You can now access quality learning and teaching resources based on your account permission. Okay, let's see if I can log in using that credentials. So dito pwedeng to sign in, dalawang pwede kong gawin. Sign in using the username that I set up or the email address that I used. O sige. Okay, I was able to sign in. I see my name here. So, hanap ulit tayo. Matter. And this is also the same. See, I used a non-DepEd email account and I saw download here. So, I can already download it. Okay. And then how to search for your materials. So just use the search button here, the search box. Pwede kayo maglagay ng title, kung alam nyo na yung title. Keyword. Keyword is also words lang na parang mga clues nung gusto nyong hanapin. Or the competency. Get the curriculum guide or the MELC. Get the competency code, put it there, and it will give you the returns na according dun sa sinesearch ninyo. Okay. So again, these are where you can get or access free materials like illustrations here. May videos, may photos, may illustrations na aakma sa inyo. So you can get it for free. Now, let me give some tips and tricks how to get free materials na Creative Commons. Pag sinabing Creative Commons, ibig sabihin ito yung may pwedeng mag-reuse. Sabi kanina ni Ma'am Rems, pwede tayong kumuha ng gumawa ng material sa iba-ibang paraan. Like for example, sa PowerPoint, if you can create your material in PowerPoint, okay lang. Kasi pwede ka maglagay ng mga text box. Wait. I'll create nyo na lang. I'll choose Google Slide for example. You can resize this to A4 sa file. and then page setup. So you can just do that later. So the thing that I want to show you is that you can insert images from the internet that are copyright free. So lagay natin dito, we want to search for the picture of a lion. I put the lion. Ito. So pwede na ako mamili dito ng picture ng lion. So this picture is part of the Creative Commons. Kasi ang binibigay sa'yo ni Google dito sa G Suite or kahit hindi G Suite sa Google Slide are mga Creative Commons. So this is present kay Google dito sa Google Slide. Present din ito sa PowerPoint. Okay. New slide. Let's see. Insert. This is the PowerPoint. So, i-click ko yung insert. Tapos, punta ako images or picture. Online picture. Kasi there are 3 options. Photo browser. Picture from file. Or online pictures. I get online picture. Ito naman, ang pagkukuhanan niya ay sa kanyang favorite browser, sa bing.com. So, let's say, ang gusto ko, lion pa rin. Lion. Kung titignan ninyo, nakalagay dito, tickable ang Creative Commons only. Pag tinanggal natin yan, pati yung mga hindi Creative Commons ibibigay niya. Pero dapat, mas maganda lagi may check ang Creative Commons para yung mga ibibigay sa inyong mga options are free to use, free to reuse. At click natin, no? Ayun, no, nakalagay. O yun, dahil Wikipedia siya, that is free for use. Okay. So these pictures are copyright free. So if I choose this and then click insert, there. At nakaano na rin po siya, oh. Meron na rin siyang citation. Kagaya rin ng sinabi ni Ma'am Ida kanina, ginagamit ko rin po ang freepic.com. Kasi nakalagay mismo sa website ng freepic.com ay yung mga makikita ninyo dito ay pwedeng i-reuse pero iaano mo sila, isa-cite mo sila. Nandito naman yun. Sa kanilang terms and condition. At per image pala rito, nakalagay naman na kailangan i-attribute mo lang sila. Masaya na sila nun. Itong mga may crown na ganyan, that is paid. Yung mga walang crown, ibig sabihin, those are free for use. So, let's see, for example, I choose this material. Mga icons yan. So, I can download that. Imagine, I'm not logged in, pero the download option is present here. So, it means this can be used. Nakalagay, free pick license. Free for personal and commercial purpose with attribution. I-attribute mo lang sila, payag sila. Kasi, meron tayong mga nakikita sa internet na feeling natin, pagka minention natin sila o in-attribute natin o naglagay tayo ng CTTO, hindi ibig sabihin na naglagay tayo ng credit to the owner ay okay na. Check muna natin kung pumapayag ba sila. What if meron economic sense yung kanilang illustrations? Okay. And yung mga sinabi ni Ma'am Ida na mga websites na kung saan pwede tayong kumuha ng mga materials. And I guess I need to cut my talk there kasi it's already 10:47 to give way for some questions. May I invite Ma'am Tet? Hello, it's nice to be back.
Hi, Sir Noel.
Hello po.
Thank you for taking us through the procedures sa LR site. In the interest of time, can we still have questions? I'm sure na interesado po ang mga viewers natin for
Yes,
more
ma'am.
of this talk.
Meron ba tayong questions dyan?
While we're waiting for the questions, we would like to remind Sir Noel yung ating mga winners kanina. We would like to congratulate si Denmark Gabriel from Holy Angel University Science Department po siya for landing on the top-notch first prize winner po siya. And then we have our second placers is Jillian Aaron Abasolo from Pax et Lumen International Academy. Second place and our third placer, or rank 3, again from Holy Angel University. Congratulations to Chengel Santos de Macali. You can claim your prize po sa division office. Congratulations po. Alright.
Dapat pala pina-quiz ko kanina yung kung sino
Ano yan?
yung may copyright, yung unggoy o yung photographer. Kasi hanggang ngayon, that is a very interesting topic. And each state kasi may kanya-kanya silang copyright law. And that it matters kung saan in-apply yung kaso na yun.
And sir, kapag ano mo siya, kailangan magbigay ka ng prize, yung professional microphone mo yun sa harapan. Yun daw ang rini-request ng ating mga viewers.
This one?
Yeah. If you're going to join, have that, include that in our game. Okay.
That's a prize?
Yes, sir. All right. So I think, ayan, meron na tayong question, sir. Possible po bang ma-publish sa LR portal ang mga nagawa nilang SLK?
Pagka po private school ang author,
Yes po.
hindi po. Kasi po, kagaya ng diniscuss ko kanina, ang mga public school teachers are paid by the government for free. I mean, not paid by the government for free. Let me correct that. Ang payment namin, we are deputized that whatever we do ay pag-aari ng Estado. Pero kung hindi ka government employee, you still retain your intellectual property. Ang copyright ay nasa sayo. Kapag kasi hindi ka kung ikaw ay if you are a private individual, you will not be given remuneration for that. Hindi ka mabibigyan ng walang kalakip na pera. Dahil kaming mga nasa gobyerno ay kasama na sa aming payment or aming salary yung mga trabaho namin. So kahit kunwari itong mga graphics na yan ay pag-aari ng gobyerno yan, yung mga ginawa kong graphics sa ilalim na nakikita nila, hindi ko na yan pag-aari ng gobyerno kasi ginawa ko yan sa panahong ako ay bayad ng gobyerno. Pero hanggat empleyado kayo ng private institution ninyo, that matters.
Yes, sir. So that means it's quite a different story when you are employed po sa private sector.
Yes, ma'am. Even if you give it for free sa DepEd, dadaan po yan ng tedious quality assurance process which will be discussed by Ma'am Emily later. the process of quality assurance. And sometimes dito po nagtatagal. Akala po nila mahirap ng gumawa ng SLK or ADM. Mas mahirap po ang pagdadaanan ng quality assurance kasi check niya po lahat if lahat ng content ninyo are valid for education or not. So meron tool na ginagawa. Ang daming pagdadaanan po niyan. Creation or authoring is just the first step. Actually, second step pala siya. Kasi ang first step is i-define mo dapat kung ano ang need ng eskwelahan ninyo. So after defining it, you create your material according to the need, and that is already the step 2, which is the crafting of your instructional material. And step 3, of course, the quality assurance. Pwedeng bumalik sa author kung sinabi ni quality assurance may copyright infringement ka o hindi mo na cite si ganito o wrong grammar yung ganito. So you need to correct that. And then after ma-correct yun, babalik na naman sa quality assurance if those corrections are granted or na-edit mo na. And usually, after the first correction, marirealize niya, ay, ang iyo palang activity number 4 doesn't comply with your objective number 2. Kasi ang objective number 2 mo is gagawa sila. Ito nagtatanong ka lang kung ano ang definition. O ulitin mo ang iyong mga tanong. So meron ka na naman tatanggalin doon. So yun yung process na pagdadaanan niyan. Dito sa aming usual process sa DepEd. Pero as we mentioned earlier, since the private schools have their autonomy, 'di ba nga, private schools can select publishers who to deal with, who you can buy your materials with. That is also your responsibility. Even yung if you wish nagagawa ang school niyo ng SLK or ADM, I suggest the school should form or magfo-form kayo ng parang instructional material committee who would address or who would check your the quality assurance of your material. Tayo naman kasing mga teachers, of course, nung nag-aaral pa tayo, naturuan tayo kung paano gumawa ng instructional materials eh. Kaya lang, nagbabago ang panahon. Ngayon, ang ating mga competencies ay umaakma sa Bloom's taxonomy. Even the competencies natin ay nakaakma sa Bloom's taxonomy. Ibig sabihin, pati ang instructional materials natin, yun ang hinihingi niya. Like for example, creation, crafting, you can do your material, you can define, mga ganon, naka-level siya. Ang haba pala na sagot ko. Sorry.
Very clearly answered. And all of our private school and institutions all have their quality assurance initiatives just to make sure that all of the materials are standards-based and following the provisions po ng DepEd. Thank you for giving us a prelude to the next talk, Sir Noel. And it's the most opportune time for us to award you our Certificate of Recognition. The Certificate of Recognition is awarded to Mr. Noel Reganit for being the resource speaker during the webinar on module and self-learning kit for private school teachers held on June 17 to 19, 2020 via YouTube Ingenuity Classroom, given this last day, 19th day of June 2020 at the YouTube Ingenuity Classroom. Signed, Maria Irene Pitamayo, PhD, CESE, OIC Schools Division Superintendent. Thank you very much, Sir Noel, for this
Thank you very much, po.
And of course, we're down to our last session for this day, the third day and the final day of our webinar. And it's great to bring you back once again, our next resource speaker. You've met her the first day of our webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased to present to you the Chief Education Program Supervisor, Division of Anglicity for Learning Resource Management Development System. Please welcome Dr. Emily F. Sarmiento. Ma'am Ems.
Good morning, Ma'am Ted. Good morning, everyone. How I wish I were the chief, but I am just an education program supervisor, ma'am. So let me correct that. Is my audio clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I hope our teacher participants can also clearly hear me. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you. Thank you. And we will now be talking about quality assurance, ma'am. So, what are
Yes.
the parameters to tell us that indeed we came up with a learning resource material, be it a module or an SLK following the standards, tailor fit for the learners, and one which effectively targets the competencies?
Yes. Okay. So everything, the we're talking about the content, the language used, the format, the standards are really very important. We have to make sure that they are really compliant with. Well, of course, in the private school, you might be having your own set of standards for the production or the development, and the material should be compliant to the standards, whatever standards that will be set by the private schools.
Precisely, ma'am. So here goes our education program supervisor and our chief trainer for quality assurance.
All
Take it
right.
away, Dr. Ems.
Thank you, Ma'am Ted. Kaya niya pa muli. All right. So our discussion for our last topic for today is about guidelines on the content evaluation of teacher developed learning resources, or the ADM modules. Um, Before I proceed, let me just acknowledge that the materials I am using were uh, forwarded to us by the regional office. That's why you have you can see um, the heading there. It came from the regional office because they are the ones in charge of cascading the content on evaluation process. Okay, so what are our objectives? So for this activity or for this session, um, to equip the participants with the knowledge on the processes of evaluating teacher-developed learning resources. So this is really a tedious process, as what Sir Noel said a while back. Hindi po nagtatapos doon sa pag-develop ninyo ng materials. Ang pinaka-last po na process na dadaanan ay ang pag-quality assure. So to discuss the guidelines in evaluating the content and the language used in the teacher-developed materials. So I am giving you an idea of how we do it in DepEd, and I am sure that if private schools would like to adopt this one, wala naman pong problema, or if you want to modify it. So, terms of reference, the learning resource evaluator shall perform the following roles and responsibilities. Now, we call the evaluators LREs, or learning resource evaluators. So, pwede rin, you can have another name for evaluators, like instructional material evaluators, so whatever. Pero ang general term po namin sa mga nag-i-evaluate ay LREs, or learning resource evaluators. Sa pag sinabi nating learning resources, andyan po ang module, andyan ang SLK, self-learning kit, andyan ang SIM, andyan ang storybook, andyan ang big book. So whatever learning resource material na dinidevelop ng teacher. So anong gagawin? Kahapon, nag-meeting po kami, and I have requested Sir I've requested that school heads should be present to be able to also get some ideas on how quality assurance is being done kasi po may yung responsibility, accountability kasi pag natapos ang isang learning resource, kailangan po ng merong mga documents na mga isa-sign po yan, no? So, syempre po, bago naman i-sign, bago mag-affix ng signature, kailangan po ay makita ng principal who is the chair of the committee na compliant talaga ang material, no? So it is free from conceptual, factual, procedural, pedagogical, computational, and grammatical errors. There should also be no violations on social content guidelines and also other types of errors. So you write specific comments or findings and suggested revisions by encoding them using MS Word insert comments. So siya, lalo na po sa panahon natin na hindi tayo nagpe-face to face, so you can submit your output or finished product sa online where it can be evaluated online as well. Nagagamit ng MS Word tapos mag-i-insert ng comment on the specific part of the pages of the assigned LRs. So lalo na kung merong mga violation. Accomplish the prescribed evaluation tool. So later I shall be showing an example of an evaluation tool and prepare the summary of findings report that shall guide the development team in implementing the recommended revisions. Now, as a team, no, so kailangan po talaga na mag-create ng team. Ano ang composition ng team? So as I have said, ang mag-chair ay ang school principal, tapos kasama ang content evaluator. Ang content evaluator po, kung halimbawa ang bawat learning area ay meron dapat naka-assign na content evaluator. So kung ang nag-submit ay AP, so si coordinator ng AP ang titingin doon sa content. So titingnan niya kung ito ay compliant. Another member of the team yung titingin sa language. So kung English naman ang medium na ginamit sa material, so kailangan tingnan ni English coordinator o kung sino yung i-assign doon sa learning area na yon na titingin sa grammar. Okay po? Meron din titingin kung ito ay walang problema, walang copyright issues. So mas maigi sana kung may mga software tayo na makikita natin kung merong mga problems sa copyright. So, meron din natitingin sa format. Okay? So, yung format, titingnan, nasunod ba yung standard na sinet sa format. And then, this development team will communicate with one another should there be clarifications regarding the content of the assigned LRs or the developed LRs. Review the revised and finalized LR to ensure that corrections or suggested revisions were sufficiently and correctly implemented. So may pagkakataon po na babalik ang after the first evaluation, meron pong second yan, meron pang third, until such time na ma-perfect na. Pero napakalaki po ng role ng writer dito, writer, illustrator, layout artist, para hindi na po bumalik ang inyong mga gawa, kailangan po ay sumunod na kagad doon sa mga guidelines. So kung kumuha ka lang, naglift ka lang ng isang picture, tapos nilagay mo without citation, so yun po ay siguradong babalik, no? Okay, so i-review ng quality assurance team. Tapos pag kailangang bumalik sa development team, so yung development team, yun pong gumawa, no? So yung writer, yung illustrator, yung layout artist. So meron din pagkakataon na si writer ay siya na rin si illustrator at siya na rin si layout artist. Kagaya po ni Sir Norwin na nag-discuss ng SLK, um, complete package po, no? Si Sir Norwin, writer na siya, illustrator pa, layout artist pa. Okay? So kailangan i-review ng development team ang material bago i-submit para hindi na lalo bumabalik ang material. So sa conduct of individual evaluation, so the LRE will receive digital copies of the following materials, no? So ano ba yung na-assign o ano ba yung na-develop na material? So yung content evaluation tool, summary of findings template, guidelines on the content evaluation of teacher developed, learning resources. Okay, so kung ikaw ang napili na mag-evaluate. So, meron ka dapat mga documents na tatanggapin. So, importante yung mga tools. So, importante din syempre yung material. So, the LREs o yung Learning Resource Evaluator shall allot sufficient time to evaluate each assigned LRs and accomplish the individual content evaluation tool and summary of findings for each LR evaluated. They shall evaluate the LRs one at a time. Siyempre po, kung marami ang nag-develop ng, let's say, AP, no? At kunwari sa school, iisa lang si evaluator ng content, 10 ang nag-submit, siyempre, hindi naman po pwede. Kailangan one at a time para makapag-concentrate. And then LRE shall read the LRs page by page. Yan po, no? Page, hindi po pwedeng doon na sa content kagad. So page by page po. To identify possible errors using the following criterion items in the content evaluation tool as guide in the evaluation and in indicating their marginal comments. So ano yung titingnan, no? Okay, so titingnan yung intellectual property compliance na diniscuss kanina kahit pahapyaw lang kasi mahabang discussion po usually ang tungkol sa intellectual property rights. So check the LRs, no? Baka may copyright violations. Baka hindi na-cite ng maayos yung mga copyrighted text and visuals. Parang nag-masters o nagtithesis and nagdi-dissertation lang, no? So pag nagbasa tayo at nakuha natin, nakita natin yung isang paragraph, hindi naman din pwedeng yung kung ano ang nilalaman talaga ng paragraph na yon ay ilalagay natin doon sa ating material. So kailangan pa rin nating i-paraphrase. Pero pag kahit na pinaraphrase natin at hindi na siya katulad syntactically nung kinuhanan natin, so kailangan pa rin po ng proper citation. So, kailangan tinitingnan natin yan, no? Sa mga writers po, kailangan maging maingat tayo, no? Sa lahat ng anumang ginamit nating material, kailangan nakasite po yan. And then learning competencies, check the alignment of the content of the material with the targeted learning competencies intended for the learning area and grade level. So, kailangan akma talaga, may alignment sa content, sa learning competencies, sa mga activities, at akma din doon sa learning area and grade level. Sa instructional design and organization, the content of the LR should contribute to the achievement of specific learning objectives, arrange and organized logically to facilitate achievement of learning objectives. Ito na, banggit kanina ni Sir. O nga naman, baka hindi align yung iyong activities doon sa tina-target na objective. And then be suitable to the target learner's level of development, needs, and experience. Okay, so kahapon, may nag-text po sa akin kahapon, tinatanong kung, sabi niya, Ma'am Emmy, Gusto ko talaga parang gusto ko mag-develop ng SLK. Parang I see it as simpler as compared to module daw. Kaya lang narinig ko si Ma'am Rem, sabi niya, na parang it is advisable only for primary level. So sabi ko, advisable. So tapos yung ADM naman, advisable sa higher levels. Advisable in the sense na simple lang po kasi ang content ng SLK. Pero ang module kasi parang medyo mas maraming activities. But it doesn't stop anyone, kahit nasa high school ka pa, to develop SLK. So wala pong guidelines na magsasabi na hindi pwedeng mag-develop ang high school. In fact, last year, sa aming pagkascade ng aming training sa mga teachers, I required all from elementary to even senior high school teachers to develop SLK. So for as long as it will be for the good, for the betterment of our learners. So okay lang po iyon. At kahit naman ang ADM, kahit ang kanyang content ay medyo complex na konti. So, hindi naman nangangahulugan na hindi pwede siyang ibigay sa mga grade 2. Dahil in fact, kami po ngayon ay nagde-develop ng AP. Kami po ay na-assign ng national level, ng central office to develop a module for AP grade 2. No? So, wag po kayong magpatali doon sa kung ina-advise lang. No? Pero kung gusto nyo po ng SLK, okay lang po na SLK. Pero syempre, nakadepende po yan sa inyong mga principals kung ano ang i-assign sa inyo na i-develop. Okay, so yung instructional design and organization. So reinforce, enrich, and or lead to the mastery of the targeted learning competencies. So yung mga activities po, dapat it will really lead the learner to master yung competency. And then use devices that facilitate progressions from lesson to lesson, allow for review, comparison, and or integration with previous lessons. It should provide also motivational strategies and or activities. Siyempre, lalo na kung iyan ay iuuwi kasi ng bata, ang module, ang self-learning kit. So, papaano siya mamomotivate kung hindi naman talaga nakaka-motivate yung mga strategies at activities. So use various teaching and learning strategies to meet individual differences and or learning styles. So iba-iba po kasi ang ating mga learners. So as I have said, they're diverse. Meron din silang kanya-kanyang individual differences and learning styles. And then promote the development of higher cognitive skills and 21st century learning skills. So sa mga activities nyo, makikita po kung ang material ay nagpo-promote ng HATS. Baka LATS pala, o lower order thinking skills. And then enhance the development of desirable values and traits. So we want to develop a productive citizen, a 21st century learner, or a student, a learner equipped with 21st century skills with proper or desirable values and traits. So institutional quality, eto po, no? Check for the conceptual errors. Baka naman meron pong nabanggit dyan, no? Minsan sa mga ginagamit nating mga materials, merong mga conceptual errors, merong mga factual errors. Kailangan updated tayo, no? So, kung dati merong 9 planets, so yung isa, di ba, hindi na kasama doon. Procedural, o kaya doon sa, minsan, sa konsepto natin, no? Minsan, akala natin Muslim, when we say Muslim, others probably have notion na pag sinabing Muslim, yun ang religion. Pero of course, the religion is Islam. So yung Muslim, yung mga tao. No? Factual errors, yan. So tingnan natin, lalo na yung sa AP. No? Tingnan po natin, mga dates, especially mga names, mga lugar, no? Places. Kailangan po, very factual. Procedural errors, minsan mga nangyayari din diyan, no? Yung mga content merong mali sa procedure. Okay? So yung pedagogy, meron ding error. Computational sa math or sa science, kung merong mga numbers, baka may mali. Kami po ay nag-evaluate ng math books. Nakita po namin madami ding mga computational errors. Grammatical errors lalo na. Nako, hindi po dahil mga Pinoy tayo talagang pagdating sa language natin sa Filipino ay talagang okay tayo, no? Ang dami pong mga mali din, no, sa paggamit ng mga words. So dapat alam natin ang ortografiya ng wikang Pilipino. And then sa English, syempre kailangan po, no, walang makitang mali ang mga learners. Baka may nakaligtaan tayo makita ni learner. Pero syempre hindi po 'yan makakalusot sa ating evaluators. And then violations on social content, at kagaya nung diniscuss natin during the first day, no, yung mga guidelines. So may guidelines na sinusunod sa social content. And look for other types of errors na kailangang wala. Dapat talaga wala pong error ang ating material. And then check LRs for assessment that helps teacher evaluates learners' progress, is aligned with the specific learning objectives, facilitated self-checks, and are varied. So ito po ay sa part ng assessment. So kanina nakita ko, pwede bang wala na lang, parang meron ako nakitang question, pwede po bang hindi na ilagay? Ayun pala yung sinagot ni Sir Norwin. Okay, pero dahil self-learning kit ito, we expect na hindi sana muna titingnan ng bata, no, yung mga kasagutan. Pero makakatulong yon para makita niya tama ba siya o mali siya doon sa kanyang sinagot. And then mga LREs or evaluators shall encode comments on salient points based on the criteria while examining the LRs. They shall highlight in red the portion that needs to be improved, revised, or where the error is found using MS Word insert comment. Specify comments, findings, and recommendations beside the highlighted portion to guide the development team in revising the LR. So they shall also use a summary of findings, and later I shall be showing you an example of summary of findings. This is a template to identify the specific parts that need to be corrected and or revised by indicating exact pages and line numbers. And this summary of findings, ito po yung binabalik sa development team or sa writer para alam niya kung saan ang kanyang dapat na i-modify or i-edit or i-revise. So they are advised to avoid using vague words and non-specific generalized comments and indicating marginal comments. So sa mga LREs, dapat po yung words that we are going to use ay appropriate, and many of the examples are not aligned with the content. The sentence is not clear, the verb is grammatically incorrect, napaka-vague po, aling word dapat specific. Many of the examples, aling example, okay? The sentence is not, so kaya kailangan po yung marginal note para nakatutok doon sa kung ano ang mali. Okay. So after evaluating the LR, yung ating evaluating team or quality assurance team shall go over again to the indicated marginal comments to validate and or confirm that the comments and recommendations are consistent and thorough, and to check that none is missed out. So yan po ang role, no, ng LRE. They shall ensure that all comments and recommendations indicated in the LRs are included in the summary of findings report. Notes on the specific pages of the LR shall adequately support comments written in the summary of findings. They shall provide an overall assessment on the content quality based on the comments and findings noted in the LR. They shall encode the summary of findings report of the overall findings and recommend if the LR requires minor or major revision. So kung minor revision, pwede naman ma-recommend for use. Pero pag major review, but after necessary revisions were already done. Pero pag major revisions, baka kailangan talagang ulitin. So after individual evaluation of each LR, the evaluator shall immediately submit with marginal comments and a duly accomplished summary report on a staggered basis until all assigned LRs have been evaluated. If deemed necessary, the evaluator may confer with the development team or focal persons to present their findings and agree on the revisions and improvements to be made in the LRs evaluated. So, dahil school naman po kayo, may school quality assurance team. So, pwede naman po kayong mag-meet para mapag-usapan kung ano yung findings doon sa pag-evaluate. So ito po yung evaluation tool for content. Ayan po. Ito po yung gamit namin, but as we have been telling everyone here, ang private school po ay pwedeng i-adapt naman or pwedeng i-modify. Basta pwede naman po kayong gumawa ng sariling standards. So ito po yung criterion standards and or criterion items. May factor 1. Ano ang tungkol sa factor 1? Intellectual property rights compliance. So the learning resource has no copyright violation. So pag wala, has no? So kailangan yes. The copyrighted text and visuals used in the LR are cited. So kung na-cite naman, check yes. The copyrighted materials used in the LR are accurately cited. So again, kung yes, kung no naman, you check no. So the references are properly cited in the bibliography. So it says here at least 3 criterion must be marked yes to indicate compliance to this factor. So kung hindi naman, kasi at least 3. So kung 2, not complied, no? So hindi siya compliant. Sa factor 2 naman, learning competencies, the content is consistent with the targeted DepEd learning competencies intended for the learning area and grade level. So ngayon, easy na lang po dahil may MELCs tayo. So yun po, dun po nakaangkla yung ating gagawin na SLK or module, no? So the item must be marked yes to indicate compliance to this factor. Okay. Instructional design and organization. So the LR contributes to the achievement of specific objectives of the learning area and grade level. So either you check or you write complied. Yan. Sequencing of contents and activities within each lesson facilitates achievement of objectives. So pati yung pagsisequence ng contents at activities, tinitingnan po yan. And then content is suitable to the target learner's level of development, needs, and experience. So wag naman pong taasan masyado ang mga, kasi kung ang sinusulat mo ay for grade 2, dapat level po ng grade 2 ang ating ang content, no? So baka masyado, kumuha tayo o gumawa tayo ng example, parang pang grade 5 na pala or pang high school, no? And then content reinforces, enriches, and or leads to the mastery of the targeted learning competencies intended for the learning area and grade level. So yung mga activities po ninyo, no? Dapat ay it will lead to the mastery. Yung learner will master the targeted learning competency. And then next, we have content is logically developed and organized throughout the material. So lessons, activities are arranged from simple to complex, from observable to abstract. The LR contains useful introductions, reviews, summaries, and other devices that facilitate smooth progression from one lesson to another. So, tinitingnan niyo po yan, no? As writers, yan po, you will be guided by this tool. So, dapat na, para po yung mga evaluators natin ay hindi naman din po ma-bombard, no? Sa kanilang gagawin. Okay? So, hindi rin bumalik ang material ninyo. So, development of lessons allows for review, comparison, integration with previous lessons. So, napaka-importante po niyan. Okay, the motivational strategies are provided. So, may overview, advanced organizer, puzzles, games, mga motivational strategies po yan. The LR uses various teaching and learning strategies to meet individual differences or the learning styles, if applicable. The LR develops higher cognitive skills, may critical thinking skills, creativity, learning by doing, problem solving, and of course, the 21st century skills. The LR enhances the development of desirable values and traits such as, so meron tayong, ito yung dapat ay ma-achieve po ng ating mga learners through the material that you have developed. No? Does the material show pride in being a Filipino? Or does it strive for excellence, helpfulness, teamwork, cooperation, desire to learn new things, ability to know right from wrong, critical and creative thinking, scientific attitude and reasoning, love for country, unity, honesty, and trustworthiness, respect, productive work. Dapat po, hindi naman dapat lahat ay lalabas sa material, pero at least 8 criterion po ang meron doon sa ating i-develop na material. Okay? So, kapag meron, so at least 8 criterion items must be marked yes to indicate compliance to this factor. So, pag less than 8, non-compliant siya. So, ang sinasabi po kasi ng tool namin, no, ay dapat 8. Pero, syempre po sa inyo, kung i-adapt po ito, ganun din po ang susundan ninyo. And then factor 4, instructional quality. Okay. So, content and information are accurate. Okay. Baka naman pala meron lang hindi accurate sa content natin. So, kailangan yung mga materials or references na ginagamit din natin ay mga recent or mga updated ones. They should be up to date also, mga information. LR is free from any social content violations, free from factual errors, computational errors, grammatical errors. So ang sabi dito, at least 5 criterion items must be marked yes to indicate compliance to this factor. So kung let's say 3 lang ang na-comply, hindi siya compliant. So not compliant. Okay? So, assessment, the material provides useful measures and information that help the teacher evaluate learners' progress in mastering the target competencies. And then the assessments are aligned, of course, with the specific objectives and content. We always look at our objectives for our activities. So, whatever activities or activity that we will be providing should be anchored on the objectives. And then the LR provides self-checks, ready-made achievement tests, and or review activities. Also, assessment types are varied, okay, have clear demonstration and or examples, instructions and or rubrics to serve as guide on how this will be used. Variety of activities with the LR are utilized to ensure active engagement of the learner. So pagdating sa factor 5, kailangan po ay 5 criterion items ang complied. Or kung below 5, hindi po siya compliant. Sa factor 6 po, readability. So vocabulary level is adapted to target users, experience and understanding. Ito parang more on the format. So sa layout artist po, no, the vocabulary is adapted. The length of okay, it's still on the readability. Again on the content evaluator, no. So mamaya po yung mga size ng pictures and all, meron po ang sa format din, no? So, vocabulary level na ginamit ng writer, akma ba sa mga target users natin, sa experience nila, sa understanding nila? Baka ang taas-taas naman na ng ginagamit nating vocabulary word ay baka hindi po maintindihan. So, doon lamang po sa level of understanding ng ating mga target users. And the length of sentences is suited to the comprehension level of the target user. Siyempre, pag kung high school yan, yung length of sentences is different, of course, from sa primary level. Sentences and paragraph structures are varied and appropriate to the target user. There is logical and smooth flow of ideas within a lesson and from lesson to lesson. So yung transition, ano? Okay, so consistently good use of transition devices. So yung mga paggamit ng ating mga transition devices to focus on the main topics and signal a change of topic. Okay. Yung mga on the other hand, finally, lastly, yung mga ganon, no? Lessons, instructions, exercises, questions, activities should be clear to the target user. Kasi nga po, sila iuuwi ang material. So, kailangan yung mga instructions natin ay very clear. So, at least 5 criterion items must be marked yes to indicate compliance to this factor. Okay? So, kapag may minor revision, this material is found compliant to the minimum requirements in all 6 factors. Revision based on the recommendations included in the summary of content form and LR with marginal notes must be implemented. So, pag major revision, this material is non-compliant to the requirements in 1 or more factors. Revision based on the recommendations included in the summary of content findings form and LR with marginal notes must be implemented. So, for field, okay. Ito po yung sample ng, syempre kung gumamit po kayo ng picture, no? Picture, kunwari, pinicturean nyo ang isang, ginawa siya ng model, so meron pong form na dapat i-release, no? So, patunayan na merong permission ang parent. Yan. So, this is an example of a model release form. Para po kung, halimbawa, may nilagay kayong picture doon, andun ang mga minors, so, or even not minors, pero sinali ninyo yung picture, so kailangan pa rin gumamit ng model release form. Copyright originality form, ayan. So, ito po, ginagamit namin. So, pinapakita ko lang po para magkaroon din ng idea po ang mga school heads natin. Okay, so yung summary of content findings, ayan po, example ng summary of content findings. Title of module, sector ng paglilingkod, grade level 9. So, tingnan po natin sa first column, paragraph or line or page number in chronological order. Second, brief description of errors and or findings and or observations. And on the third column, we see specific recommendations for improving the identified criterion. Siyempre po, ang mga evaluators natin dapat magbigay ng summary of content findings sa ating writer para malaman niya ano po ba yung dapat na i-improve. So halimbawa, talata 4, linya 17, pahina 9, okay? Haba ng pangungusap. So, ano ang recommendation niya? Paikliin ang pangungusap, gumamit ng mga payak na ideya. Okay? Sabi naman dito, talata 8, linya 3, pahina 3, hindi angkop ang paglalarawan. Kaya, ano ang mali, no? Sabi niya, mas mabilis at garantisado ang paglilingkod kung isang lalaki ang namumuno. Palitan ang pangungusap, magkaroon ng pantay na pagtingin sa lahat ng nakapaloob sa sektor ng paglilingkod. So meron siyang violation sa content guidelines, no? So gender. Okay, so parang sinasabi na mas epektibong mamuno ang lalaki. Okay? So sa talata 6, linya 7, pahina 8, mali ang ipinababatid na ideya. Okay? So sa probinsya, ito factual. So meron tayong, tingnan natin yung error niya. Sa probinsya ng Zambales, may tuturing na hindi tama at nasa laylayan ang gawi ng pagbubungkal ng lupa ng mga katutubo. Ang nasabing gawi ay bunga ng kanilang mayabong na kultura na hanggang sa ngayon ay masasalamin sa kanilang pamumuhay. So sabi ng evaluator, palitan ang ideya ng talata. Walang kultura ang dapat na ipagpalagay na mali o masama. So, this is just an example of a summary of content findings. So, tingnan po ninyo, no, how tedious the role of an evaluator is. So, kailangan may mata talaga, no, sa mga pwedeng hindi dapat mailagay sa material. Okay? Okay, so ito po another example. Okay, pero dahil we're running out of time, hindi ko na po ito i-discuss. Okay, summary of language na lang. Talata 8, linya 6, pahina 9 ng sektor ng agrikultura, mali ang babay ng ginamit na salita, palitan ng kwento, bye-bye, na palitan ang kwento ng salitang kuwento. Kamusta, kumusta. Okay? Check, English, check check sa Kastila, liquid English, liquido Kastila. So ito has something to do with the language. Okay, so I think I'm done. I hope I was able to beat the time given to me. But before I end, I would like to give you a quotation by William A. Foster. It says, "Quality is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, and skillful execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives." So happy writing, happy module and SLK writing to everyone. This has been Dr. Emily Sarmiento, thanking you for bearing with me, and have a good day. Ma'am Ted?
Dr. Ems, thank you so much. We're definitely happy for having you again for day 3 of this webinar. You were in the opening for day 1, and you're still right here with us for our last day to make sure that we are following the standards of DepEd in terms of our learning resources. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you po. Thank you, ma'am.
We now give you the certificate of recognition. Republic of the Philippines, Department of Education, Schools Division of Angeles City awards this certificate of recognition to Dr. Emily F. Sarmiento for being the resource speaker during the webinar on Module and Self-Learning Kit for Private School Teachers, held on June 17 to 19, 2020 via YouTube Ingenuity Classroom. Given this 19th day of June 2020 at YouTube Ingenuity Classroom. Signed, Dr. Maria Irene Pitamaya, CESE OIC Schools Division Superintendent. Maraming salamat po, members.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Ted.
For the next part of our program for this third and final day, I'm very much pleased to present to you, despite her busy schedule, she won't miss this time to be with us, private school teachers, all for the love of the Filipino learners. Ladies and gentlemen, I am now very much honored to present Dr. Maria Irelyn P. Tamayo, OIC Schools Division Superintendent Division of Angeles City.
Hello, Ma'am Tet. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning
mo
po, Ma'am Irelyn.
po. Great morning po to all our private school family members who are with us today. Special greetings po to our SEPs in charge of private schools, Sir Glenn Sarmiento, and of course to our excellent speaker, Dr. Emily F. Sarmiento, to our tech team, Sir Noel Reganit, and to our HRD unit, Miss Arcely Garcia, and Miss Vilma Enciso. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. The COVID-19 crisis actually surprised all of us. We were all caught by surprise, especially in the field of education. I could still remember it was only the second week of March when we were forced to close our schools in order to safeguard our learners, our teachers, our non teaching personnel, and other stakeholders from the deadly virus. We faced tough times. After 3 months of lockdown, ECQ, GCQ, and now MGCQ, we are facing another challenge, the opening of classes, the opening of another school year dubbed as the new normal. In the private schools, I know that you are facing tougher times. Perhaps a lot of you have questions like, will we still have adequate number of learners in order for us to survive the cost of running our school? Are our private school teachers prepared for the so-called alternative learning modalities? Does our school have appropriate technology and infrastructure for the new normal? These are only some of the questions that might be bothering you at this time. Indeed, tough times are ahead. And when we are facing tough times, of course, we will not forget that we are Filipinos and we are known for our resilience. Whatever catastrophe, whatever calamity we had experienced, we survived. And we will surely survive this COVID-19 crisis. How will we do it? When we are in tough times, what is our primary objective? We want to overcome the challenges. We want to win against these challenges. So, my dear private school family, let's go for the win. How will we do that? Let's look at the word win, 3 letters only. How will we go for the win? First, let us welcome new opportunities for teaching and learning. Majority of our population would say that face-to-face learning is still the most effective mode. Perhaps they're right, but we are facing this crisis wherein physical face-to-face teaching is somewhat impossible at the moment, since our president mentioned that he would not allow face-to-face classes if there would be no vaccine. So let's welcome new opportunities for teaching and learning. We might have online learning, we might have modular learning, we might have blended learning. Let's capacitate ourselves so that these different learning modalities will still deliver quality education among our learners. Of course, we would like to say that I physical face-to-face learning is still the best. But will we still force the issue? Let us try to look into other alternatives in order for us in order for our learners to enjoy learning in spite of the distance involved between the teacher and the learner. That is why we have been joining webinars, we have been attending webinars ever since day one of this pandemic, because we want to arm ourselves with the technological know-how, with enough concepts that would help us teachers to deliver the best education that we can give for our learners in the so-called new normal. Second, let's innovate. We just finished our webinar on how to produce modules or self-learning kits. So, as our speaker mentioned a while ago, let us custom fit our self-learning kits, our modules that we may be producing to the diverse learners that we will be facing come opening of classes. Yes, our learners will come from different sectors. They have different needs, they have different interests, they have different abilities. Now let's be creative. Let's innovate so that our learners will find learning is still enjoyable in spite of the fact that they do not go to school every day and face their teachers and classmates. Let us try to think out of the box. Let us try to think of strategies that will creatively make our learners still develop the so-called 21st century skills, higher order thinking skills, and as mentioned by Doc Emily a while ago, the desirable values and attitudes befitting a good Filipino. And lastly, how can we go for the win amidst this COVID-19 crisis in education? Letter N, let us nurture positivity within us. Let us nurture optimism. Let us nurture courage. Let us nurture the idea of surviving amidst this crisis. Let us arm ourselves with inspirational books, inspirational thoughts, motivational ideas, so that in the long run, no, our psychological well-being is still intact, even though we know that personally we may be battling several battles, several problems, several challenges. We still teach as if there is no tomorrow. We still teach as if we are not burdened by worries. Let us teach the best that we can so that our learners will be happy and smart kids. And that's the goal of the Department of Education, that our learners are not simply smart, but they are also happy learners. My dear private school family, yes, tough times are ahead. But as we always say, tough times can bring out the best in us. With God's grace, mercy, and wisdom, we will emerge victorious. We will survive. We will be triumphant amidst this crisis. We will absolutely win. Go for the win, my dear private school family. Your DepEd, your STO family is right within your reach. We are always here to help and assist you because you are part of the family. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Let us not forget, go for the win. God bless everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Irene. Dr. Maria Irene Paras Tamayo, Officer in Charge, Schools Division, Superintendent. Go for the win, welcome new opportunities for teaching and learning, innovate, custom fit, self-learning kit to the diverse learners, and finally, nurture positivity within us. Going for the win is one of our representatives from the private school sector. Please welcome a teacher from Handprints School of Progressive Education, Ma'am Jomagel Infante.
Hi, good afternoon. Um, as the teacher of Handprint School of Progressive Education, one of the challenges that we are currently facing in our institution is the acceptance of the parents to shift to the new normal. From face to face to distance learning, the shift meets many challenges, one of which is module writing. The knowledge and skills that I have gained in this webinar will be useful in equipping myself and my colleagues to provide the same, if not better, quality education for our students. Regardless of the shift in the modes of learning, we are now more confident that we will be able to provide fun, unique, and educational activities that our students will benefit from. In behalf of all the teachers and staff of Handprint School of Progressive Education, we accept the challenge posed by our respectable Superintendent, Dr. Tamayo, and we commend the assistance of the DepEd Division Office that they have continuously provided us. Thank you, and may we continue to support each other for the benefit of our students. Let's all keep the passion burning. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. To heed the call and accept the challenge, please welcome the principal for Basic Education Department, Holy Angel University, Ma'am Lizabel Bernarte Gamboa.
Good morning. As early as January 2020, before the pandemic, we as schools were already certain as what school year 2020-2021 would be like. We knew how many teachers we will be needing, what their loads would be, what equipment to purchase, what programs and activities need some tweaking, and how we will review and revise our syllabi. We planned early, and our plans were based on historical data and experiences. We had bases, that's why we knew what to improve on. Middle of March, we came to a standstill. In what direction should we proceed? For even government gave us updates on our situation bi-monthly. All of a sudden, we are all planning for something which is still uncertain. Aside from this, we also have families to tend to, and we were on a lockdown in the strict sense of the word. But because we are all about students, despite the fact that we have to face and address some personal concerns brought about by this pandemic, we thought about them. We have to address all their concerns as well. Now, we have to do some maneuvering in most of the plans that were once in place already. What we did were meetings here and there, webinars here and there. We all had bits and pieces like that of a jigsaw puzzle. How to put this together, DepEd came to our rescue. DepEd gave us clear directions and understood our plight as private institutions. Education should not stop. So now, we are putting together the pieces of our own puzzle. As our university president, Dr. Luis Maria R. Calingo would put it, we cross the bridge while we are building it. Along the way, as we cross and build our own bridges and put together the bits and pieces of our plans, there will be mistakes that we will encounter. Let us not be afraid of this, for they will be our guide to find the right piece that will fit our puzzle, the right concrete and strength we need to build our bridges. We will confront hardships, but we will get the job done. Because when the going gets tough, we put one foot in front of the other and just keep going. We will not give up. As private institutions, we will not just retool our teachers, but we have to reskill them as well. With this, we thank Acaps, headed by our president, Dr. Carlito Antonio, for taking the lead among private schools so we all move in the same direction in the education of our students. We appreciate what our DepEd Division of Angeles City, headed by our Superintendent, Dr. Irene Tamayo, is doing to prepare us, private schools, to thread the uncertainties of the new normal. We know you have our back, and for this we say, dakalpong salamat for being with us in this endeavor. To our DepEd officials, as private institutions, we profess our acceptance of the challenge given to us in this new normal in education because we are all about students. Thank you.
Together we try, together we will win. Talking about winning, here goes the winners for the top 3 best illustrators. Again, we would like to thank you all for joining us and sending your entries. And we will now be flashing all of our winners. There will also be prizes that will be given for you. Sir Noel, are we ready now to flash our winners? It was quite a tough job for Ma'am Ida to choose the winner. Top 3 best illustration. Aika Bintang of Anchor First Foundation Student School, Han Shapino of Philippine University, and Helen Moreno of Holy Angel University. And congratulations to all of our winners, and of course for the winners in the recap a while ago. We have for Denmark Gabriel, and our second placer is Michelle, and third placer is Motive Consultant. Congratulations to all of you again. If I can hear from you in your feedback, we will be flashing the evaluation form a little bit later on after this session. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. As frontliners in the field of education, you together face the battle, trust the process, and be part of this history. We learn as one, we teach as one. On behalf of the Department of Education, Division of ICT, and the Annual City Association of Private Schools, this has been said, signing off. Maraming salamat po. And right here, it will be open until 12 midnight. We will be sending the certificate for the attendance of this 3-day webinar to your school administrators. Evaluation meeting right here being flashed on your screen. And of course, we would like to give po ang ating Certificate of Appreciation sa ating mga officers, our President for Acaps, Republic of the Philippines, Department of Education, Schools Division of Angeles City awards this Certificate of Appreciation to Dr. Carlito S. Antonio in grateful appreciation for his valuable support and contribution during the webinar on Modal and Self-Learning Kit for Private School Teachers held on June 17 to 19, 2020 via YouTube Ingenuity Classroom. Given this 19th day of June 2020, at the YouTube Ingenuity Classroom. Signed, Maria Ireline P. Tamayo, PhD, CESE OIC Schools Division Superintendent. Thank you, Sir Charlie, for taking the lead. The same appreciation goes to, of course, Ma'am Dolora David of the Angeles City Association of Private Schools. Special thanks to Ma'am Liana Canlas, our dear secretary. A while back, we have had the awarding of certificate for our PRO, Ma'am Dolora. Ma'am Edna Guevara, our dear treasurer. Thank you so much for this certificate of appreciation. I likewise appreciate my being here with all of our private school educators for this webinar.